Drifting alone in the void, the stars were silent. A small escape pod floated in the cold darkness of space. It had no signal light, no power, no direction, just a broken piece of metal drifting slowly among the stars. Inside the pod, an alien girl named Zira lay still. Her skin was pale blue with silver lines running across her forehead. Her eyes were closed. Her breathing was weak. The air inside the pod was thin and cold. Time was running out. Suddenly, her eyes opened. Zira gasped, her body shivering from the freezing air. She looked around, confused and scared. The last thing she remembered was being pushed into the pod. Her own crew, her own people. They locked her inside and launched her into space like trash. She tried to scream, but her throat was dry. Her voice was weak. She reached toward the control panel, but it was dead. Everything was dead. Power, oxygen, hope. Zira didn't understand. Why would they leave her? What did she do wrong? She touched her wrist. There was a small cut where they had injected her with something. Maybe a drug, maybe poison. She didn't know. Her body felt heavy. Her heart beat slowly. Then she noticed something strange. A tiny red light blinked on the wall. It wasn't from her pod. It came from outside. A scanner beam? A ship? Far away, a human scavenger vessel floated through the sector. Captain Ray. Stone was searching for old wrecks or spare parts. He had been in space too long, alone with only his small ship and a sarcastic AI named Kilo. "I'm picking up a weak signal, Captain," Kilo said. "Very low power. Might be junk or a trap." Ray looked at the screen. The signal was fading fast. He leaned closer. "Bring us closer," he said. "You sure? Might be pirates. Might be someone in trouble." The ship turned toward the signal. As it got closer, Ray saw the pod, small, old, barely holding together, and inside, a figure, a person, not human. He grabbed his helmet and moved to the airlock. "This is a bad idea," Kilo said. "That's an alien, unknown species. This could get us banned, or killed." Ray ignored him. When he reached the pod, he carefully opened the hatch. A hiss of frozen air escaped. Inside, he saw Zira, barely alive, eyes half open, staring at him. She tried to speak. Only one word came out. "Please." Ray didn't hesitate. He lifted her gently and carried her back to his ship. Once inside, he laid her on the medbed. The ship's systems scanned her. Not human. Not on any known list. Breathing irregular. Vital signs weak. Unknown alien biology. "Can you understand me?" he asked. Zira looked at him, her lips trembling. "Why? Did you help me?" Ray blinked. "Because you're alive, and you needed help." She stared at him for a long moment, her eyes filled with confusion and fear. "They'll come," she whispered. "If they know. I survived." "Who?" She didn't answer. Instead, she grabbed his hand. "You shouldn't have saved me," she said. "They'll kill you too." Before he could ask anything more, she passed out. Ray stood there, heart pounding. He didn't know who she was or what danger she brought, but something told him this was only the beginning. Outside, in the silence of deep space, the stars kept watching. A dangerous rescue. The ship was quiet, except for the soft hum of engines. Captain Ray Stone stood in the dark hallway outside the medbay, staring at the closed door. Behind it, the alien girl lay unconscious. Her name was still unknown. Her presence was a risk. But something about her eyes, something in the way she held his hand before passing out, it stayed with him. "She's waking up," said Kilo, the ship's AI, in a calm but cold voice. Heart rate increasing, brain activity returning to normal. Still unknown species, not human, still a threat. "She's not a threat," Ray replied, walking in. Yet. The med bay lights dimmed as Ray stepped closer. The alien girl was sitting up slowly, breathing hard. Her skin had changed color, now a deeper shade of blue, and her silver eyes locked onto him with sharp focus. "Where am I?" she asked, her voice shaky but clear. "My ship," Ray said. "I found you in an escape pod, drifting in deep space." She looked down. Her hands trembled. "You brought me here?" she asked again, as if she couldn't believe it. "Yes." "I'm Ray, captain of the Wild Spark. Who are you?" She didn't answer. Instead, she looked around the room quickly. Then she said something strange. "You shouldn't have pulled me out." Ray folded his arms. "You already said that." "Why?" She hesitated, then leaned forward, lowering her voice. "Because now, they'll come for both of us." Suddenly, alarms started blinking on the screen. "Incoming signal," Kilo said. "Military vessel approaching, species unknown, matching trajectory to our position. Fast." "How fast?" Ray asked. 10 minutes until contact." Zira's face turned pale. "It's them," she whispered. "They found me." Ray narrowed his eyes. "Who are they, and why are they hunting you?" Zira took a deep breath. "My name is Zira. I was an officer, part of a secret project. We were told we were protecting the galaxy, but it was a lie." She stood up, her legs weak, but her voice stronger now. "My people, they've been watching your planet, Earth, learning, planning. They see humans as a threat, not because of what you are, but because of what you can become." Ray's stomach tightened. "What kind of project?" "Biotech," she said. We're testing weapons, the kind that change minds, control thoughts, erase identity. I found files that said your colonies were being used for tests, without your people knowing." "You're saying they've already attacked humans?" Ray asked. Zira nodded. "Small ones, silent ones. No one noticed. No one was supposed to." "So what happened to you?" he asked. "I tried to report it. My superiors smiled, and then locked me in a pod and launched me into deep space." Silence filled the room. Kilo broke it. 5 minutes until enemy contact. Weapons armed. Stealth mode failing. "You brought them here," Ray said. "I didn't mean to," Zira replied. "But now you're involved, and they won't let you go." Ray turned toward the cockpit. "We run." "You can't run," she said. "They'll find you. Watch me." The engines roared as Ray took the ship into a steep dive through a dense asteroid field. Outside, massive rocks floated in space, spinning and crashing against each other. "This is madness," Kilo shouted. "This ship wasn't built for this." "Neither was I," Ray said, gripping the controls. Zira held the seat tightly, her eyes wide. "You're risking everything." "So are you," Ray said. Behind them, the alien ship entered the field. Sleek, dark, and fast. A hunter built for silence. Ray weaved between the asteroids, forcing the enemy ship to slow down. "We bought time," Ray said. "Not safety. We need help," Zira said. "But no one will believe us. Not without proof." "What proof?" Zira pulled a small glowing chip from under her skin. "This. It holds everything. Plans, tests, locations. But it's encrypted. We'll need a black market decoder." Ray sighed. "Great. Nothing says peace and quiet. Like pirates." Before they could relax, Kilo gave another warning. "Ray, another ship just jumped into range." "Another one?" Ray asked. "Yes," Kilo said. "But this one's human." They looked at each other. "Human," Zira said. "You didn't call for help, did you?" "No." "Then who did?" The screen blinked. "Incoming message. Captain Ray Stone. We know who you're hiding. Surrender the alien, or be marked as a traitor to the Terran Alliance." Ray's heart froze. Zira's people weren't the only ones hunting her now. The fugitive's secret darkness surrounded the ship once more. After barely escaping the asteroid field, Captain Ray Stone guided the Wild Spark into a deep, hidden region of space known as the Dead Hollow. No signals, no tracking. It was the perfect hiding spot. For now. Inside, the silence was heavy. Zira sat quietly in the co-pilot seat, staring into the stars. Her silver eyes looked hollow, like she was carrying a weight too large to speak out loud. Ray broke the silence. You said your people have been experimenting on human colonies. Why? Zira didn't answer right away. She closed her eyes for a moment, then finally she spoke. Because they're afraid of you. Ray looked confused. Of humans? Why? Zira turned her head to face him. You're unpredictable, emotional, stubborn, and you change fast. No other species adapts like you. You're weak now, yes. But in 100 years, 200, you could rule the stars. She stood and began to pace. My leaders believe the only way to protect the galaxy is to stop your kind before that happens. So they sent research ships, probes, even viruses, not to kill and not yet, but to study. To understand how best to control or destroy you. Ray's jaw clenched. You're talking about genocide. Zira nodded. Yes. Quiet, hidden, and slow. But genocide all the same. He shook his head. And you were part of it. Not by choice, she said quickly. I joined the science wing. I thought we were studying dark matter. But everything changed when I was promoted to Project Echo. She pulled out the small crystal chip from under her jacket and placed it on the console. This holds the truth. Video files, research logs, orders from high command, including a test they ran on a place you might know. She tapped the crystal, and a hologram appeared. It showed a planet, green, beautiful, full of life. Then a timestamp appeared. Human, colony, Terra 9. The screen changed. Terra 9 burned, buildings fell, people screamed, black mist crawled across the surface, and then silence. Ray stared at the image. His hands tightened into fists. Terra 9 was wiped out in a mining accident, he said. Zira looked at him. That's what you were told. Ray stepped back, anger building in his chest. We had families there, he said quietly. Children, workers, nobody survived. I know, Zira said, voice soft. That's when I tried to expose them, and they tried to kill me. Suddenly, Kilo's voice cut in. Incoming signal. Unidentified ship. Silent approach. Minimal energy signature. Ray spun to the controls. They found us? No, Kilo said. This one's different. Human-made, but encrypted Terran military code. Scanning now. Ray and Zira looked at each other. Your people aren't the only ones hiding secrets, Zira said. A moment later, the enemy ship decloaked. Small, black, no visible markings. A stealth hunter. They're here for the crystal, Ray said. They don't want the truth to reach Earth. Zira took a step back. Your own kind. Are working with mine? Some of them, Ray said. Maybe they think a quiet deal keeps the peace. Or maybe they just want power. A voice echoed through the comms. Captain Stone, disable your engines and eject the alien. You have 60 seconds. This is your final warning. Zira looked at him. They'll never stop. Ray smiled bitterly. Neither do I. The engines roared to life. The wild spark launched forward, diving through an old ice field. Frozen moons drifted slowly, blocking sensors. Plan? Zira shouted over the alarms. Get to a black market station, Ray said. Decode this chip, then send the truth to every damn screen in the system. Won't be easy, she said. Never is, Ray replied. The hunter ship fired. A blast rocked the wild spark. One engine sparked, systems blinking red. They're targeting your drive core, Kylo warned. We have 12 minutes before full shutdown. Hold it together, Ray growled. They weaved between frozen debris. Chunks of space ice shattered around them. The hunter ship stayed close. Too close. Zira gripped the rail. What happens if we fail? She asked. Ray looked at her, eyes calm despite the chaos. Then we die, he said. But not silent. Not like them. He pointed to the hologram still playing. The last image of Terra 9. If we go down, they'll know we tried. Suddenly, Kilo shouted. New signal. Unknown class approaching fast. Wait. It's not an enemy. On the screen, another ship appeared. Old, rusted, but massive. And armed. A pirate ship. A familiar voice crackled through comms. Well, well. Ray Stone, you crazy bastard. Looks like you brought trouble to my sector again. Ray laughed. Jax, I need a favor. Always do, the pirate replied. You still owe me that reactor core. I'll give you 2. Just buy us time. Done. The pirate ship opened fire on the hunter. Ray pulled the ship around. Heading for Black Station 7. Zira nodded. And after that? Ray looked ahead, jaw tight. We burned the lies. All of them. Betrayal. Among stars, the wild spark limped through deep space. Its engines were damaged, systems unstable, and the fuel cells were nearly dry. But Captain Ray Stone didn't slow down. Not yet. Not until they reached Black Station 7, a pirate-run outpost where laws meant nothing, and secrets could be bought, sold, or buried. Beside him sat Zira, the alien fugitive who now held the only key to stopping a silent war. Her glowing crystal chip contained horrifying proof, evidence that her people had already begun experiments on human colonies, and that some in the Terran government had helped cover it up. As the station came into view, Zira whispered, This place, it smells like blood. Ray gave a half smile. Welcome to the only place in the galaxy where pirates and diplomats drink from the same bar. Can we trust them? She asked. Absolutely not, he said. But they love money, more than they love killing. The station's voice buzzed through the comms. Wild Spark, you are cleared for docking. Weapons must remain cold. Any funny business, and we vent your ship into space. Have a nice day. Ray muttered. They're always so friendly. Black. Station 7 was built inside the shell of a dead asteroid. Glowing signs blinked above broken halls. Gangs watched from the shadows. Strange smells filled the air. Oil, smoke, and fear. Ray and Zira moved quickly. They reached a dusty bar called the Void's Edge, where an old hacker named Fixer Mal waited. He was human, mostly. Half his face was machine. Wires ran through. His neck and his eyes glowed orange. Ray Stone. Mal grinned, showing yellow teeth. Didn't think I'd see you again. You still good at breaking secrets? Ray asked. Depends on the secret, Mal replied. And the price. Ray tossed the crystal chip on the table. Break this now. Mal looked at it, and his grin vanished. You know what this is? He whispered. This could start a war. We know, Zira said. Mal nodded and got to work. Wires plugged into his head and screens flickered with alien code. After a few minutes, he leaned back, face pale. It's worse than I thought, he said. This chip has logs of mind control weapons, colony wipeouts, even names. High-ranking names, some of them human. He looked at Ray. You sure you want this out? We need the truth, Zira said. Truth gets people killed, Mal replied. You sure you can pay the price? Before anyone could answer, a loud crash shook the room. Alarms blared across the station. Unauthorized boarding, the intercom said. Section 12 breached. Intruders armed. Ray and Zira drew their weapons. They found us, she said. No, Mal said quietly, staring at the screen. They didn't have to. Someone already told them you were coming. Zira's face froze. What do you mean? Mal pointed at the security logs. Your ship was tagged before you docked. Someone sent your location to both your enemies and the Terran military. Same person paid me to delay the decryption if you ever showed up. Who? Ray asked. Mal hesitated, and then the door opened. A man stepped in. Human uniform, black armor, and a symbol on his chest. The Terran Alliance. Zira gasped. Commander Voss? Ray looked confused. You know him? Zira's voice shook. He was part of Project Echo. He trained us. I thought he was dead. Voss smiled. Cold and... Come, no, Zira, just promoted. He pointed a small device at Mal, and with a quiet click the hacker dropped dead, a thin dart in his neck. Too slow, as always, Voss said. Ray raised his gun. You're working with her people? Not with them, Voss replied. I'm managing them, guiding the future, keeping things clean. By killing colonies, Ray shouted. By making sure humans don't destroy everything before we're ready, Voss said. Our governments know, some even agree. Humans are too wild, too emotional. If we rise too fast, we burn the stars down with us. Zira stepped forward. You're not saving the galaxy. You're turning it into a cage. Voss turned to her. And you? You were supposed to be dead. Now you're making things complicated. He raised his weapon, but before he could fire, Ray pulled. Zira behind the bar, blasts filled the room. Kilo's voice came through Ray's comm. Ray, the station is locking your ship down. I can't break the clamps. You need to run. Ray turned to Zira. We're not getting out through the docks. But there's another way. Where? He looked up. Through the old maintenance shafts. But we'll need a distraction. Zira nodded, pulling something from her belt. A small orb. This will do. What is it? He asked. A gift from my people, she said. Before, they betrayed me. She activated it and tossed it behind them. A blinding flash of light filled the bar. Smoke. Panic. Confusion. They ran. Through dark tunnels, crawling past broken wires and sleeping beasts in the walls. Voss's soldiers followed. Shots echoed. One almost hit Zira's leg. Finally, they reached a small launch bay, forgotten, buried deep under the station. An old ship sat there, rusty, dead. This won't fly, Zira said. It will, Ray said. Because it has to. Kilo's voice came again. I'm uploading my core into the ship now. 10 seconds. Outside boots were coming. Voices. Zira climbed in. Ray followed. As the engines coughed to life, he looked back. Next stop? Zira answered. The galactic broadcast towers. We send the truth? She nodded. We set the galaxy on fire, and then they launched out of the station, into the stars, with the whole galaxy chasing them, and the truth burning bright in their hands. Into the enemy's nest. The stars outside the stolen ship looked cold and endless. Inside, Captain Ray Stone flew in silence, sweat on his forehead, hands steady on the controls. Zira sat beside him, her wounds still fresh, her eyes sharp. They were heading into one of the darkest places in the known galaxy, the Red Veil, a system so deep in pirate space that even the military avoided it. But Ray wasn't flying for money now. He was flying for truth, and the only one who could help them unlock it was a dangerous half-mad pirate tech lord known only as Crane. Crane lived on a drifting space fortress called Iron Nest, a massive scrap-covered station built from broken ships, war wrecks, and the bones of old empires. It floated near a dying red star, hidden by radiation storms and protected by hundreds of guns. As Ray's ship approached, Zira looked uneasy. This place, she whispered. I've read about it. Even my people stay away. Good, Ray replied. That means Crane's not working for them. Yet, Kilo's voice came through the speaker. Docking codes accepted, we're being watched. We always are, Ray muttered. The moment they stepped out of the ship, weapons were pointed at them. Pirates with glowing eyes, metal arms, and shark-like smiles surrounded them. State your name, one of them growled. Ray Stone, he said. I came for Crane. Tell him I've got something worth more than credits. The pirate scanned Zira. What is she? The reason people are dying, Ray said, and the reason they might live. A pause. Then, without a word, the pirate turned and walked away. Follow, he said. They walked through long, rusted halls filled with smoke, laughter, and the sound of old machines. Then, they entered a giant chamber lit by hundreds of glowing cables. At its center sat a throne of broken tech, and in it, Crane. He was large, bald, half his face covered in a metal skull plate. Dozens of wires ran from his body into the walls. "Ray Stone," Crane said, his voice like a machine growl. "You owe me." "I'm here to pay," Ray said, stepping forward. "But not with credits. With something bigger." He tossed the crystal chip onto the floor. Crane didn't move. Instead, the cables from his throne reached out, grabbing the chip and plugging it into the wall. Lights flickered. Data streamed across the walls. Video logs, test footage, classified orders. The truth. As Crane watched, his mechanical eye glowed brighter. The room grew silent. After a long pause, he finally spoke. "I thought I'd seen all the lies this galaxy had to offer. But this is a masterpiece of evil." Zira stepped forward. "We need to send it out. Across the galaxy. Before they erase everything." Crane nodded slowly. "I can do that. But there's a price." "What?" Ray asked. "They'll come for me after this, so you're going to help me hit them first. A trade. You help me destroy one of their hidden outposts, and I send your truth to every screen, every planet, every soldier." Ray looked at Zira. She didn't hesitate. "Deal." Crane gave them a map, the target. A research base hidden inside a shattered moon. The same place where Zira had once served. The same base where Terra 9's virus had been designed. "This is where it all started," she said. As they prepared to launch, Crane handed them a strange weapon. A small silver sphere. "What is it?" Ray asked. "Something they fear," Crane said. "It was made from stolen tech. Theirs. It's the only thing that can stop the weapon they're building now." "What weapon?" Zira asked. Crane turned his head toward her. "They're not just planning mind control anymore. They're building something worse." The trip to the shattered moon was fast and tense. As they approached, Zira became quiet. Her body stiff. Her eyes locked on the surface of the broken moon. "I remember this place," she said softly. "I was different back then. I believed everything they told me." Ray looked at her. "You're not that person anymore." "I hope not," she whispered. They landed in a hidden crater and moved on foot. The base was buried inside the rock, invisible from space. Only those who knew its secrets could find the door. Zira led the way. Inside, the halls were cold and silent. Lights flickered. Dust floated through the air. Something was wrong. "Where is everyone?" Ray asked. They reached the control center. A screen blinked. Then a voice. "You came back, Zira." It was Commander Voss. But this time it wasn't a recording. He stepped into the room, armed and waiting with soldiers behind him. "We knew you'd come here. That chip was bait." Zira's eyes widened. "You let the truth get out. On purpose?" Voss smiled. "No. We let a piece of it out. The part we wanted people to see. Fear keeps people in line." Ray aimed his weapon. "You're going to kill us?" "No," Voss said. "You're going to join us." He stepped forward. "We control the future now. We choose who survives. The crystal, the viruses. That was step 1. Step 2 is complete." He opened a nearby door. Inside was a stasis chamber, and in it a human soldier. Except he wasn't normal. His eyes glowed silver. His skin shimmered. And a mark on his neck. Zira's species. "What is this?" Ray asked. "A hybrid," Voss said. "Stronger, smarter, loyal, the new model of humanity." Zira gasped. "You're turning humans into weapons." "No," Voss said. "Into gods." Suddenly, Zira threw the silver sphere from Crane onto the floor. A shockwave burst across the room. Lights shattered. Voss screamed. His soldiers fell. Ray grabbed Zira's hand. "Run!" Alarms screamed. Red lights flashed. Hybrid soldiers woke from chambers. Some broke free. The base began to collapse. As they sprinted toward the exit, Zira looked back. "We need to destroy this place. All of it." Ray pulled out the last charge Crane gave them. "Let's light it up." They placed the charge at the core. Countdown. 60 seconds. They escaped just in time. From space, the broken moon exploded into dust. But the message was clear. The war had already begun, and now, the whole galaxy would know. The message a broken moon burned behind them. From the cockpit of the stolen stealth ship, Captain Ray Stone stared at the spreading debris. The explosion had wiped out the secret lab, the hybrid soldiers, and whatever project had been growing inside that cursed place. But it wasn't a victory. Not yet. Beside him, Zira sat bleeding from her shoulder, her breathing heavy. Every second mattered now. The crystal chip was still intact, holding the final truth. And Crane, the pirate lord, was standing by, waiting to broadcast it, but so were their enemies. "They'll try to jam us," Zira whispered. Ray nodded. "They'll do worse. Then we better be faster." The plan was simple. Reach an old, galactic broadcast station hidden inside a gas giant, Station Echelon 3. Long abandoned, off-grid, but still connected to the universal relay net. A massive, ancient network that could send a signal across 1,000 worlds. Once the truth was uploaded, it couldn't be stopped. But first they had to get there alive. As they dropped out of hyperspace, the station appeared, a silver needle spinning above the swirling clouds of the gas giant. Beautiful, lonely, silent. "It's still online," Kilo confirmed. "Barely. But it'll work." Ray tightened his grip on the controls. "Let's dock fast, no delays." But as they approached, Kilo said something that made both of them freeze. "Captain, I'm detecting 3 other ships, cloaked, circling." "The station? Who?" Ray asked. "Not Crane. Not Terran military, something new. Something wrong." Zira's eyes narrowed. "They've sent the hybrids." The docking bay was empty. No lights, no guards, no welcome. Just silence. As Ray and Zira stepped onto the station, weapons ready, the air felt heavier. Every wall had burn marks. Every console had been smashed. Whatever happened here, it wasn't just abandonment. It was erasure. "This place was cleaned out," Ray said. "Or silenced," Zira replied. They made their way to the control core, a massive chamber filled with old data towers and flickering lights. "This is it," Kilo said from their wrist communicator. "Plug in the crystal, I'll handle the rest." Zira hesitated, then slotted the chip into the main console. The screens flickered. Codes began to run. Videos appeared. Images of destroyed colonies, secret labs, mind control programs, human, officials meeting alien commanders in the dark. The truth. All of it. "Uploading now," Kilo said. "Signal is spreading, bouncing off ancient relays, old satellites, public screens, civilian comms. The galaxy is watching." But then, everything shut down. Lights, consoles, screens, dead, and from behind them, the sound of metal footsteps. They turned. 3 figures entered. Not human, not alien. Something in between. Tall, perfect, emotionless, hybrids. One stepped forward. Its voice, calm, smooth, and terrifying. The message must not spread. Ray raised his gun. Zira whispered, "Ray, these aren't like the others. These are next gen. We don't need to win," he said. "We just need time." They opened fire. The hybrids moved fast. Too fast. One grabbed Ray by the neck and slammed him against the wall. Zira fired again and again, finally hitting a weak point behind. Its jaw. Sparks flew. It fell. But more were coming. "Kilo!" Ray shouted. "Reboot! Send the message!" "Working on it," Kilo said. "They've infected the system. I'm fighting them. But they're rewriting the code." Zira crawled to the console, bleeding, fingers shaking. She pulled out her last card, weighed a pulse key, stolen from Crane's vault. One push, and it would wipe out everything in the room, including her. "Don't do it," Ray said. "We don't have a choice," Zira replied. "If they stop the message here, it's over." She slammed the pulse key down. Light burst. The hybrid screamed. The signal rebooted, and the truth, all of it, began to spread like wildfire. Across the galaxy, People watched. Miners on forgotten colonies, soldiers on faraway battle stations, children on peaceful worlds. Every screen played the same images. Terra 9, the experiments, the hybrid labs, the betrayal, and Zira's voice. They tried to erase us, but the truth cannot be silenced. Inside the broadcast station, Ray carried Zira's unconscious body toward the emergency pod. Blood ran down his face. One arm broken. "Hang on," he said softly. "We did it. Just hold on." Behind them, the station collapsed. Systems fried, structure failing. They launched just in time, and as the pod drifted into space, Ray looked out the window. Enemy ships were everywhere. Hybrids, Terran traders, alien hunters. But something had changed. Other ships were arriving too. Human warships, free world, fleets, even Crane's pirates. All answering the same call. Zira's message. Kilo spoke softly through the pod's speaker. "They heard us, Captain." Ray leaned back, holding Zira's hand. "Then we don't run anymore," he said. "What now?" Kilo asked. Ray looked into the stars. "Now we fight." Hope among the ruins, the stars burned with fire and war. For the first time in decades, the entire galactic net was awake. Every planet, every spaceport, every home. The message from Station Echelon 3 had spread across the void like a storm. The truth had been revealed, and the galaxy was on the edge of chaos. On one side, humans, pirates, rogue worlds, and defecting alien factions who had seen the truth and refused to be controlled. On the other, hybrid armies, secret alliances, and those still loyal to silence and power. And in the center of it all was a damaged life, pod drifting slowly toward Earth's outer defense ring. Inside it, Captain Ray Stone sat quietly, bruised, burned, exhausted, and next to him, Zira. She was unconscious, barely breathing, her skin pale, her body broken from the explosion inside the broadcast station. But her heart still beat. Somehow, she had survived. Ray looked down at her, whispering, "Don't die on me now. Not after all this." A light flashed on the pod's screen. "Incoming transmission. This is Terran High Command. Identify yourself." Ray coughed. "Captain Ray Stone. I'm bringing in a passenger. She saved your planet. Don't shoot us down." There was a long pause. Then, "Proceed to secure dock. Med teams waiting." Earth orbit was burning. Dozens of ships battled across the sky. Hybrid vessels launching fast, deadly attacks while human fleets tried to hold the line. It wasn't a full invasion. Yet it was a test, a warning. And Zira's message had lit the match. As Ray's pod entered the hangar bay of a Terran warcruiser, soldiers ran forward. Medical bots swarmed the pod. They took Zira gently, scanning her strange alien biology, not sure if she was friend or foe. Ray stood in front of her, gun still in hand. "You don't touch her like an enemy," he said. "You treat her like a hero." An officer stepped forward, an older woman with gray eyes and 3 stars on her collar. "And you are?" she asked. "The guy who brought the truth," he said. "And the only reason your skies aren't filled with invisible death right now?" The officer studied him, then nodded. "We saw the message," she said. "All of it. We've already arrested 2 high-ranking officials, others are running. Your little war just became real." "It was always real," Ray replied. "You just weren't paying attention." In the med bay, Zira finally opened her eyes. The light hurt. Her body felt like it had been broken and rebuilt. And yet, there was warmth, safety. And beside her bed, Ray sat sleeping, head resting on his arms. She whispered, "We made it." His eyes opened instantly. He smiled. "We made it." Tears filled her eyes. "I thought I'd never see this planet." "You nearly didn't," Ray said, "but you gave them the truth, and now the galaxy's waking up." She nodded weakly. "Then we can still stop it." Ray leaned in. "Stop what?" She hesitated. "You saw the hybrids. But that was just the beginning. They weren't created just for war. They were meant to replace us." Ray frowned. "What do you mean?" Zira looked at him. voice low and serious. A new species, part human, part something else, something ancient, something that doesn't want peace, something hiding in deep space, waiting. Ray sat back. The weight of it all hit him like a punch. So, all this was just the first move, Zira said. 2 days later, a global broadcast was held on Earth. Ray stood in front of billions. Next to him, in full view of every human and allied race watching, was Zira, alive, standing tall, healed, but not unchanged. Her skin now carried faint glowing lines, a side effect of hybrid tech exposure. She was no longer just an alien officer. She was living proof of the future and its dangers. You were lied to, Ray said. And now the truth is out. Zira added, the threat isn't just out there. It's inside the systems you trust, inside the names you believe. We're not asking for fear. We're asking for awareness. They showed the footage again, edited, clear, impossible to deny. Cheering erupted across worlds. Riots began in others. Some called for war. Some called for peace. Some just watched. In the shadows of a distant system, a transmission played. On a silent command deck, an unknown figure stood watching Ray and Zira speak on the screen. So, the figure said, the human didn't die, and the girl didn't break. A second figure appeared behind them, tall, wearing a hood, voice like a whisper of wind. No matter, we've started the merge. And now, the real war begins. Back on Earth, Ray looked at Zira on a hilltop above the ocean. Ships passed through the sky. Peace talks were beginning. Fleets were rearming. Pirates were now ambassadors. Nothing made sense anymore. But one thing was clear. You're not going back, are you? Ray asked. Zira looked up at the stars. No, I don't have a home anymore. You do now, he said. She turned to him, surprised. You saved us. You showed us the enemy, and you gave up everything to do it. That sounds like a citizen to me, Zira smiled, tears in her glowing eyes. Then let's protect it. Together. Ray nodded. And as the stars above shifted slowly, as warships turned to defense fleets and governments rebuilt with new eyes, a new force was born. Not of fear, not of control, but of truth and hope.